Ladies and gentlemen, we are all born with dreams. Some small, some so massive they don't fit within the four walls of our reality. But dreams, no matter their size, demand something from us. They don't come wrapped in ribbons. They come wrapped in tests, trials, and yes, sacrifices. Let me ask you today, with all honesty, how big is your dream? Big enough to lose sleep over it? Big enough to be misunderstood? Big enough to be alone on days when the whole world seems to turn its back on you? Because here's the truth, big dreams don't walk in through the front door. They climb in through the windows of your patience. They arrive battered after you've paid the price. And the price is never cheap. Big dreams demand bigger sacrifices. It's a truth most people don't want to hear. Everyone loves the glamour of success, the applause, the recognition, the glow of achievement, but very few are willing to bleed for it. And that's the thing about big dreams. They aren't handed to you. They are earned through grit, loss, discomfort, and countless moments of questioning your own worth. When you dream of something massive, something beyond the ordinary, the universe starts testing you immediately. Not because it wants to punish you, but because it needs to know, how badly do you want this? Are you just flirting with greatness, or are you committed to it? Big dreams don't tolerate half-hearted effort. They require the kind of dedication that keeps you up at night, the kind that makes you say no to temporary fun so you can say yes to long-term purpose. They demand you give up what is good for what could be extraordinary. That's the real cost. It's not money, not resources. It's you, your time, your energy, your peace. Sometimes you'll miss out on things, birthdays, weddings, vacations, Netflix nights. You will have to let go of people who don't understand your journey, not because you want to, but because they'll slow you down. They'll whisper doubts into your ears. They'll make you feel selfish for choosing your path, and you'll carry the guilt. That's a sacrifice too. Your body might give up on you before your mind does. There will be exhaustion, physical, mental, emotional. You'll question why you're even doing all this when the results are nowhere in sight. Everyone else seems to be having a good time, living a normal life. Meanwhile, you're stuck in this loop of relentless hustle. No backup plan, no safety net, just faith. Raw, shaky, but unbreakable faith. Sometimes you'll be so close to breaking that you'll wonder if it's even worth it. The irony is, those are the exact moments that shape you the most. Because anyone can dream when it's sunny, but only the committed ones keep dreaming in the storm. You'll sacrifice your old self, the one who wanted validation, who feared judgment, who cared what the world thought. That version of you can't come along on this journey. Big dreams require a tougher skin, a sharper mind, a softer heart, and a spirit that refuses to quit. You become more alone, more intense, more focused. It's not always beautiful. In fact, sometimes it's downright ugly, but it's real. And that's what makes it worth it. People will call you obsessed. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You will change. You'll become someone who values meaning over popularity, purpose over perfection, process over praise. While others are busy fitting in, you'll be busy standing out, and not for attention, but because you don't belong where mediocrity lives. The sacrifices won't be dramatic all the time. Sometimes they'll be subtle, waking up earlier, saying no to things you used to love, doing the boring, repetitive work no one claps for, grinding in silence while the world scrolls past you. These small daily sacrifices stack up. They build something inside you: resilience, discipline, fire. And the cruel part is, no one sees this part. No one claps for the sacrifices. They only clap when you win. They only celebrate when it's already done. But the dream isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows, in the nights you cry alone, in the mornings you get up without motivation, in the hours no one is watching. Pain is the proof that you're growing, not the kind of pain that comes from wounds or betrayal, but the silent ache that creeps in when you're stretching beyond what you thought you could handle. It shows up in the form of discomfort, in the quiet heaviness that settles on your chest when you're working on something bigger than yourself. And it never comes when you're stagnant. It only arrives when you're in motion, when you're evolving. Growth doesn't feel like an Instagram quote or a motivational speech. It feels like breaking. It feels like confusion. It feels like waking up one day and realizing you're not the same person you used to be and not knowing if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's the ache of letting go of who you were while not fully knowing who you're becoming. You're in transition, and that hurts. There's a reason why butterflies have to struggle to leave their cocoons. If someone tries to help them out, they die. The struggle itself is what strengthens their wings. That's how nature works. You don't grow without friction. You don't evolve without resistance. Pain is the resistance. It's life's way of sculpting you into someone who can carry the weight of your own potential. People say they want to grow, they want to become the best version of themselves, but they want it to be easy. They want the results without the tearing apart. But growth isn't gentle. It comes with bruises. It comes with loneliness. It comes with rejection. The people around you may not understand your shift. They might even resent it. Because growth threatens comfort zones, not just yours, but theirs too. You'll feel that pain, that subtle alienation that comes when you're no longer the version of yourself they were used to. Sometimes the pain is invisible to everyone but you. It's in the discipline of doing things you don't feel like doing. It's in the patience of waiting for results while your doubts scream louder than your hope. It's in the quiet moments where you question everything and still decide to keep going. That kind of pain doesn't bleed, but it burns. It's the burn of becoming. It's easy to think something is wrong when pain shows up. We've been conditioned to avoid it, to numb it, to escape it. But the truth is, pain has a purpose. It's a signpost. It says, you're not where you used to be. It says, you're stepping into something new. It says, this matters to you. If it didn't matter, it wouldn't hurt. Pain is proof that you're alive and trying. It's proof that you're invested, that you care enough to feel it. And yes, it's tempting to go back, to shrink, to settle, to choose comfort over growth. But that comfort has a cost too. It keeps you small. It keeps you safe, but stuck. Growth pain, on the other hand, is currency. You pay it now so you can live with freedom later. You pay it with tears, with effort, with uncertainty, and in return, you get strength, clarity, depth. There's a moment in every transformation where you feel like you're falling apart. But you're not falling apart, you're being rebuilt. Piece by piece, thought by thought, decision by decision. And it's not pretty. It's not supposed to be. Real growth doesn't come with sparkles and applause. It comes with silence, with solitude, with the humbling realization that you're a work in progress and always will be. Pain doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're moving. It means you're trying to lift something heavier than you could yesterday. And maybe your muscles are sore now, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But that soreness is the very sign that you're expanding. Comfort zones are dream killers. They don't look dangerous at first. In fact, they feel warm, safe, familiar, like an old sweater you know you should throw away, but don't, because it still fits. That's the problem. Comfort zones always fit. They don't challenge you, they don't stretch you. They keep you where you are, disguised as peace, but slowly suffocating your potential. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you push, when your hands are shaking, when your voice trembles, when your knees are weak, but you show up anyway. The moment things get too easy, that's your warning sign. You're not being tested anymore. You're just repeating patterns. It might feel like progress because you're in motion, but you're only walking in circles. Same place, different day. People love to stay where it's easy because stepping out means stepping into the unknown. And the unknown is terrifying. It comes with risk. It comes with failure. It comes with the fear of looking stupid, of making mistakes, of not being good enough. But that fear is exactly why it's worth it. If you're not scared, the dream isn't big enough. If your heart isn't racing, you're not stretching far enough. The real magic happens right past the line where comfort ends and courage begins. The world doesn't reward safety, it rewards bravery. It rewards those who dare to move beyond the norm, and that requires sacrifice. Not everyone will understand why you're suddenly choosing late nights over parties, solitude over company, hustle over hobbies. They'll think you've changed, and you have. You've chosen discomfort on purpose because you've realized that playing it safe was just another way of settling. There is a slow death in staying comfortable. It's not dramatic, not loud. It's subtle. It's the sighs you let out when no one's looking. It's the dreams you start calling unrealistic. It's the goals you quietly abandon because the work feels too hard. It's waking up and living the same day over and over, wondering where your spark went. That's the cost of staying in the comfort zone. A life that looks fine on the outside but feels hollow on the inside. Stepping out doesn't mean you won't fail. You will fail. You'll fall flat on your face more than once. But failure in discomfort is progress. Failure inside the comfort zone is just stagnation. When you try and mess up, you learn. When you play it safe and avoid, you just delay your growth. Every time you choose the unfamiliar path, you level up. Maybe not immediately, maybe not noticeably, but internally something shifts. You start to believe in your ability to handle hard things. You realize you're stronger than you thought. Your comfort zone doesn't just protect you from fear, it also shields you from greatness. You can't have one without risking the other. Staying in what's known might keep you from heartbreak, but it also keeps you from breakthrough. It keeps you from discovering who you could be if you weren't afraid. And isn't that the scariest thought of all? That the version of you the world needed never came to life just because it was too hard to leave what was easy? Some people spend their whole lives trapped inside limits they never question. They wait for a perfect time that never arrives. They postpone, they procrastinate, they prepare forever without ever launching. But the truth is, the comfort zone is a liar. It tells you you're safe when in reality you're stuck. It whispers that you're in control when actually you're avoiding the very thing you were built for. Growth never happens by accident. It happens when you get uncomfortable on purpose. When you walk into the room where you feel the most out of place and decide to stay. When you choose risk over routine, purpose over predictability, freedom over familiarity. Your scars are your strength. Not your weakness, not your shame, your strength. Every scar tells a story, not of how you were broken, but of how you healed. They are the receipts of survival, the proof that you walked through the fire and made it out breathing. People will tell you to hide them, to cover them up, to pretend like the past never happened. But the truth is, those marks are your testimony. They are the raw, unfiltered evidence that you didn't give up when you had every reason to. Scars don't appear out of nowhere. They are born out of struggle, pain, battles fought silently. You don't get them by living an easy life. You get them by facing things others run from. You earn them when life knocks you down. And instead of staying there, you crawl forward, bleeding, tired and afraid, but moving. You earn them when you choose to heal, even when healing feels like reopening the wound every single day. People often admire strength, but they rarely ask where it came from. Strength is not inherited, it is forged. It's born in the moments no one sees, when you're crying in the dark, when you're rejected, when you're humiliated, when you're exhausted but still show up. The scar is not the moment of pain, it's the moment after, the moment you chose to live on anyway. That is power, quiet power. Not loud, not boastful, just undeniable. Some scars are visible, others are buried deep in the soul. Emotional bruises, memories that still sting, moments you wish you could forget. But even those are part of your architecture. You are not broken because of them. You are built from them. Every time your heart shattered and still found a way to love again, every time your trust was betrayed and you learned to forgive or set boundaries, that was strength, not weakness. That was character, not damage. Society likes polished people. It prefers the clean, the smooth, the untouched. But life doesn't work that way. The most powerful people you'll ever meet are not the ones who look perfect. They're the ones who've been through hell and didn't let them make them bitter. They're the ones who carry pain with grace, who wear their scars not as symbols of tragedy, but of triumph. Not look what happened to me, but look what I survived. Your scars remind you of your resilience when the next storm comes, and it will. You look back at the marks and think, I've been through worse. That memory alone becomes your armor. Pain teaches you, scars remind you, and that combination gives you an edge most people don't have. You stop fearing life because you've already been cut open by it and you're still standing. The most dangerous people in the best way are the ones who've been hurt deeply, but still choose to show up fully. They have nothing to prove because they've already proven everything to themselves. They walk differently, not arrogantly, but unshaken. That's what scars do. They humble you and empower you at the same time. They remind you that you are not fragile, even if you feel that way sometimes. And no, scars don't fade easily. Sometimes they never do, but maybe they're not supposed to. Maybe they're there to remind you of where you've been, so you never lose sight of how far you've come. Maybe they're there to teach someone else that they can survive too. Maybe someone needs to see your healed wound to believe their own healing is possible. Pain isolated becomes suffering. Pain shared becomes strength. Scars shared become light. Loneliness is part of the climb. It's not a glitch in the system. It is the system. The higher you go, the quieter it gets. People love the version of you that's convenient, predictable, easy to manage. But the moment you start aiming higher, dreaming bigger, wanting more than average, you'll feel it. The silence, the space, the absence. Friends stop calling. Familiar voices grow distant. Support becomes rare. That's not because you've done something wrong. It's because your path no longer fits the crowd. You'll start noticing how the conversations that once energized you now feel empty. The places that used to comfort you now feel small. You'll outgrow rooms without meaning to. That kind of growth is painful because it disconnects you from what once felt like home. And the loneliest part, most people won't even notice. You'll be grieving friendships that died silently. You'll be longing for connection in a world that doesn't understand your drive. But that's what the climb looks like. Step by step, shedding what no longer belongs, often without applause, often without witness. You see, the journey to becoming more of who you are is inherently isolating. You start hearing your own voice more than anyone else's. The noise fades and you're left with nothing but your thoughts, your fears, your ambition, and your truth. That's a sacred space, but it's heavy. Not many can carry it. That's why so many quit halfway. They mistake loneliness for wrongness. They think the silence means failure, when really it's just evolution. You begin to understand that not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people are only equipped for the base of the mountain. They can cheer from a distance, but they can't climb with you. And it's not your job to drag them along. That's one of the hardest truths to swallow. You love people, you want them to come with you, but not everyone can handle high altitudes. The air gets thinner the higher you go, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And if someone doesn't want to adapt, they'll suffocate. Or worse, they'll pull you back down. There will be days when you crave belonging, when you trade all your progress just to feel understood again, when success feels meaningless because there's no one left to share it with. But even in that ache, something inside you keeps moving because you know deep down this solitude has a purpose. It's building something in you. Self, trust, clarity, discernment. You stop looking for validation. You start making peace with your own company. That's when things start shifting. The climb teaches you things comfort never could. You learn who you are without an audience. You learn to keep going without praise. You become dangerous in the best way. Self-sufficient, focused, grounded. Loneliness forces you to find your real voice, not the one that pleases the crowd. You strip away the masks. You get real, you get raw, you get free. And yes, there are moments of crushing doubt. You'll wonder if it's all worth it. You'll miss the noise. You'll miss the distractions. You'll miss being part of something easy. But ease never built anything legendary. You weren't made for average. You weren't built for small talk and safe plans. You were meant to build something that lasts. And things that last are built in solitude. Every great transformation demands separation. You have to leave the village to find the vision. You have to be willing to stand alone long enough to become someone who no longer needs to fit in. The climb isn't meant to feel cozy. It's meant to test your hunger, your patience, your heart. Because what's waiting at the top can't be found in the crowd. It can only be found in you. Become the dream, don't just chase it. Chasing means it's always out there, just ahead, just out of reach, something you're running after. But becoming is different. Becoming is internal. It's not about distance. It's about identity. When you become the dream, you stop needing permission. You stop waiting for the right time, the right tools, the right people. You start acting like it's already yours, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. Most people are running after success like it's some separate destination, some golden place they'll arrive at one day. But the truth is, success doesn't come to who you want to be, it comes to who you are. You don't attract what you fantasize about, you attract what you embody. So stop saying, I want to be this, and start saying, I am this. Move like it, speak like it, think like it, train like it, live like it. Because every action you take is a vote for who you're becoming. Becoming the dream means transforming yourself from the inside out. It means waking up with intention, not just ambition. It means making decisions not based on how you feel in the moment, but based on who you're committed to becoming. You sacrifice convenience for conviction. You drop the excuses, the distractions, the victim mindset. You stop negotiating with your potential. You start demanding more from yourself because you know you're capable of more. It's easy to talk about goals. Everyone does it. Vision boards, Pinterest quotes, New Year resolutions, but most people don't want to become what they're dreaming about. They want the outcome, not the identity. They want the rewards, not the rewiring. They want to chase the dream without changing their habits, mindset, or values. But you can't carry a new life in old hands. You have to rebuild yourself to carry the weight of your own future. Becoming is uncomfortable. It requires letting go of the version of you that kept you safe, that kept you small. It means questioning your patterns, breaking cycles, unlearning lies. You start seeing your time differently, your energy differently, your relationships differently. You realize you can't entertain everything anymore. You can't say yes to things that don't feed your vision. You become more intentional, more selective, more disciplined. And not everyone will understand that. People might say you've changed, that you're too intense, too focused, too ambitious. Let them talk, because becoming is lonely. Not everyone is supposed to understand your transformation. You're not here to explain it. You're here to live it. The more you become the dream, the less external motivation you need. You don't need people cheering you on when the fire's already lit inside you. You don't need constant validation when your identity is rooted in purpose. That's the shift. You go from chasing to creating, from seeking to embodying. You become the source. The dream stops being this faraway thing and starts becoming the standard. You no longer say someday, you say today. You start living in a way that feels like the future you're building. Not pretending, not faking it, but aligning every part of your life with that vision. Your words, your discipline, your focus. They all start reflecting the person you're becoming. And the wildest part is, when you truly become the dream, the world begins to shift. Opportunities show up. People take notice. The path becomes clear. Not because the dream got closer, but because you did. You became the kind of person who no longer needs to chase what they already are. The dream doesn't feel far anymore because it's living in your decisions, in your discipline, in your daily becoming.